Yes, this is our SPSS, and SPSS simply means, the acronym stands for Statistical Package for Social Sciences. So this is where we're going to be looking at from time to time, so I can familiarize ourselves with this package. Let's go. So this is the interface of SPSS. I got this installed as version 23. We have other versions too, earlier versions and even later versions, and we got this environment looking like that of Excel. You remember Excel having some cells, some boxes, some boxes, the cell. So now one thing you should know is this, you have your menu bar, have some properties you can see here, and you can navigate through them, get your file open, a whole lot of stuff, your undo and your redo. As time goes on, we're going to be looking at most of this. Yeah, and then you have your rows, you have your columns, and one thing you should know is this: there are two views we operate with when we talk about when we're talking about SPSS. We have here the data view. Yeah, this is a data view, and this is your variable view. Yeah. Now, under the data view here, before you start entering your data, your raw data, you need to come over to your variable view. This is where you define your variable. Yeah, you're going to the variable name. Yeah, here this is called the name of your variable, and this is called the type, the width, the decimals, and what have you. The values you are assigning to them, and then if there are labels, you put the labels here, and the measure of your data type. Okay, now we have our variable view, where we define the variable we're working on. Variables could be, like the height. Let's say body mass. Okay, let's say you really want to know, what the weight of individuals, some selected individuals, would turn out to be when they are fed with a particular, type of food. It could be any type or falling under any classes of food. You fed them for some time and you really want to check it out. Okay, now when you're talking about statistics or statistical analysis, you are either comparing, the result of a particular group of experimental indices or experimental tests with another group. Yeah, to check, is there any significant difference? Is there a similarity? There are a lot of things you check out for, meaning you have to do with a grouping system in some cases. So now let's say as a researcher, you went out there and you really want to know the impact of the classes of food on the body weight or body mass of individuals. So this is what you're going to do. Now, under the first variable name, I may decide to say, okay, let's try to, we can write there to be our grouping. Yeah. Then coming over here, you click on the, after type your grouping, you click on the second name. These are first variable. Yeah, these are first. Mind you, we are under the variable view. We must define our variable view, before we can talk about the data view. Now, under the group name, you see, immediately you type your group, it comes with a name, numeric, width. The width here means the length of the character. There are 8 characters. So just check it out. Let's say you're going to be using carbohydrate, for example. Now, carbohydrate is spelled CARBOHRATE. That's up to 9, if I'm not mistaken, 9 digits or 9 characters. So, meaning if you're spelling carbohydrate, you may not get all the letters spelled out, all the alphabet spelled out. So, let me just increase this to like 10. Yeah, 10 will take it. Now, decimals here is if you really want to a decimal point, if you want a decimal point, like you say 0.00 at the end of your value. If you don't want any decimal, you can as well knock it off to 0. Yeah. Then labels. Label, we'll not talk much about label now, but label is here to describe more, about what you are looking at for. What you're looking at for. That's what the label. You can use the label to describe more about what this group is all about. But we'll not pay so much attention to that. Now we'll go to values. This is where we need to impute the values that come to the grouping. What I mean by values, I'm talking about, you have done your grouping. Yes. Then this grouping, let's say you have 5 groups. No, let's say 3 groups. This is where you define your 3 groups. Now, the 3 groups, the groupings could be the first group, that's number 1. That's those that will be taking our carbohydrate. The second group, those that will be taking protein. And the third group, those that will be taking vitamin. Yeah, vitamin. So now, we're going to head on to these 3 dots beside it here. And then you're going to click. Now, when you click, they're telling you what is the value and what is the label. So the first value is my number 1, and the label I'm assigning to it is the group that will be taking carbohydrate. Now let me use a sentence case, carbohydrate. Yeah, when you define this, you add it. Then my group 2 will be those that will be taking protein. You add it up. Then my group 3 will be those that will be taking what we have now, vitamins. You add it. When you have defined these 3 grouping of students or individuals, you say okay. You click OK, and you see you have it defined for you here. Yeah. So now we are done. When we are done defining our variables, then you are good to go. You come back to your data view. Now your data view, you see the variable we're working on now is your group. Yeah. Now we have 2 groups, and in each group, let's say we have 4 students or 4 individuals. So this is what I'm going to do. The first group is carbohydrate, which is group 1. So what happens here? Mind you, we are under our data view. You come over here and type 1. Press enter. You see, it brings out the carbohydrate that we defined under the variable view. Now we type 1 again. We type it up to 4 times because we are dealing with 4 students. Now the next one is group 2. So you type your 2. You see 2 is for protein. You type it 4 times. And then the last one is for our vitamins. That's group 3 that we defined. Yeah, this is the last one. Now if sometimes people don't like working with this the spellings, as in the name written fully. They want to really represent it by the group. That's group 1, group 2, group 3. So what you do, you come over here and do the switch. This is value labels. The labels of your value. If you want it to be a number, you can toggle on this. If you want it to be an alphabet, you can do so by clicking here once. It goes back to the 1, 2, 3. By clicking there again, it goes back to the alphabet. Yeah. So this is how we define our variable. Here, having done this, here you will now impute your weight, the weight of the students when they might have undergone, when they might have received the meals. So now, having defined the variable and the labels, the grouping of our experimental test, now we're going to come over to the second column, that's the second variable, and here we want to impute the weight of the students after they might have have been exposed to the diets. Now, if you notice, we have not defined this variable, so I come over to the variable view, and under my row 2 I type weight and press enter. Then after typing weight, then we I think we don't need to change anything here, we just leave it that way. Then one thing you should know is under your measure, we have different type of data types. We're going to look at that very soon. But under here, since we are dealing with real measurements, you put it on scale. Yeah, you can put them on scale. Yeah, because they are being measured. Yeah. Now coming to data view, you notice the weight has come up, and you have some little dots here telling you that they are looking for values. So let's go back. I don't need decimals, so I clear here to 0 and then come over here to data view. Then the weight of the students, let's say this is 40 or 45 or 50, just these are fictitious values. So I get this. Okay, these are just, so that's how we go about it. So I know we have learned something today. This is how we go about it, creating a variable and then imputing, coming back to the data view to impute the experimental results. Now, so SPSS is very, very important. We can do a whole lot of stuff. You come to the files, we'll come to edit. Under data, you have a lot of things to do with, then most of the things you'll be doing will be either working with analyze. That's where the analysis comes. You look at descriptive or statistics, compare means, where you have your one way ANOVA and one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, and you have your correlation, or have your regression, or have a whole non-parametric test, also be looking at parametric tests, and a whole lot of stuff. Come to your graph, where you talk about your regression plot, you want to build your charts and what have you. A whole lot of stuff we'll be looking at. So just stay glued to this channel as we take on this ride. So thank you so much. See you in the next video.